Well, a few weeks ago, we did a segment with Dr. Nick on happiness, and that provoked a really interesting letter from one of our viewers.
It did.
And we're going to pull that thread a little bit more. Dr. Nick joins us with more. Good morning.
It's a good letter.
Yeah, it really was. And we were so much talking about happiness, and she said, okay, so what do we do when I have a manager at work that I can't get along with? I've tried to adapt as many ways as I can, but it's simply not working. She's a couple of years from retirement. And then there's a home situation that is a situation of an incurable disease or, just a problem that's pervasive. And she said, how can I find happiness out of that?
Yeah, and if you, I didn't take the letter by, apart too much, but I was struck by blocking my happiness.
Right, she said it's blocking.
Blocking my happiness. Well, that's a bit of a flag for me because again, happiness, it can't be about other people are going to make me happy or make me sad. I'm going to approach my work in a happy state. I'm going to approach my family with a certain serenity and a certain acceptance of what is, and I'm going to go in with an attitude that's not looking for problems. Now and then they come and I deal with them. Okay. Whitney, this is part of I think one of the toughest things that she raised when I read the letter, because what do we do? We're working with people for 8 hours a day,
which is longer than you'll probably spend with your family.
Everybody comes in with their baggage. I can sit here all day long and say to you that I tell people to leave your baggage and your history at the door. You know that's hard to do. Mm-hmm. So we bring that in with us, and it's a matter of how are we going to handle it? Do we confront it directly? Do we let it go? Do we not respond to negativity and respond by praising what we appreciate in the other?
Because even the manager that you don't like, you can say kind things. I appreciate how you handled that last assignment, or the feedback you gave me, or you're right, there's always something.
And I remember reading once, and I've really tried to live this and treat everyone with kindness, because we don't know what they're suffering through.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We don't know what they're dealing with. Now, I don't believe that's enabling. I mean, it's just be kind to people. It doesn't mean, again, though, that we're not concerned with people need to do their job, but I've got to focus on me. Didn't you say something the other day? You said something about changing yourself.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's a great line.
If you want to change others, just think of how hard it is to change yourself.
But isn't that getting right to, again, the kind of the bottom line of happiness?
Sure,
it's how am I going to handle myself? And with regard to the family, I just remember my father, every day after work, he would come home immediately and go walking for 30, 45 minutes. And I think that decompressing time or that stress relief time would be very helpful to those who, as we've talked about earlier, struggle with the job and then have to think of, oh my God, I've got to go home now.
Right. I was saying, what do you do if somebody hates their job and it's a bad, they don't want to go home. They can't wait to leave work, but then they don't want to go home. It's a bad situation. But you're right, any type of that outlet, and that you can do something for yourself.
That's
exercise.
Good point. Yeah.
And maybe walking with a friend and somebody who brings you joy or company you enjoy, right?
Yeah. And having, along the lines of that, again, having a life beyond work and family. There's always got to be a balance between separateness and intimacy, because there's an intimacy at work. We're working with people, so There's an intimacy. But there always needs to be separateness, and that separateness comes out very often in what are my personal goals, what's my latest project, what book am I interested in reading? Can't wait for Red to come out this week so I can see what might be going on this weekend. We don't have to be stuck.
Okay, and speaking of being stuck, let's talk about it, because we live in the capital city where a lot of people work for the state. Other people work for the city. A lot of them are in the retirement system. A lot of them have a lot of time invested. Maybe they're 5 years from retirement. And you and I both have friends who say, oh my gosh, I'm counting the days. I can't wait to get out of there. And either they've gotten into the golden handcuff cycle, or they've gotten into a cycle that they're fearful moving, how can people deal with that? I mean, you hate for people to mark time for that long.
It's a real struggle, especially in cities like this. I do hear it from people, like they get kind of jaded, and it's like, well, I'll just put up with it. I'll just put up with it, and I'll mark the days. And you know, as someone said, I think very well, part of the problem is if you wait and start living when you retire, then you're not going to be living.
Right.
So the living needs to happen right now. In that 5 years or 3 years, needs to still be an investment. You know, Whitney, what? And I've said this before. When are we going to get better at looking for hidden gems, for those moments in every situation that oh, I'm so grateful for this. This was a good day, or this was a great surprise. This fed me.
Yeah, I look, I have an idea, only because it fills me with such joy, and I said this yesterday. If you want to find something to be thankful for first thing in the morning, take a walk right around sunrise.
Wow.
Just the beauty of the earth.
Yes.
And the same is true for sunset.
Yes.
If you just want to be thankful for
Yes.
things that aren't even in your control, but just the beauty of the world, it's right there. I think those are the two most beautiful parts of the day.
So if we could just simplify life, it really would be less stressful.
Right.
If we would listen to Mother Nature, or listen to the air breathing, and watch the birds, and listen to the chirping, and get up and watch a sunrise or a sunset. You're right. I mean, these are the freebies of life.
You're right.
That are just gifts.
Yes.
And in our society, we miss them. We're too caught up with cable network.
I know. And you know what else? I love not to walk always and listen to music, or walk and not hear what's around me. But I found real joy because I love to walk and exercise with people. So when I'm by myself, sometimes I'm like, It's just that social nature of me. But
well, sure.
Podcasts
You
are
used
incredible.
to force me to go walk with you when I didn't want to.
Kicking and
Podcasts are
screaming.
great. Podcasts are great.
They're more out there than ever. And it doesn't matter
Podcasts
what
are
you
great.
want. If you want
Podcasts
something
are great.
religious, if you want something spiritual, if you want something about, parenting, or, there are more out there. In fact, are you still doing your podcast?
Every once in a while, but I got to tell you a quick story.
Okay.
But this is for the lady with the letter. I don't know what it is about me, but when things are really going crazy or the stress is too level, I don't know why my creativity kicks in all the more.
Really?
You know what my latest is?
Tell me.
I've been listening to electronica music.
What?
No, it's unbelievable, Whitney. It's
Electronica?
Electronica or electric music. Sorry for my idiocy, but it's electronica. Let's do it on I'm serious. I could take all those standards and and turn them into electronica, and they would be. You know how you go to a bar and the dance music? It's electronica.
I gotcha. It's
But
just
I'm just
a
saying,
dance beat.
but you're
vibe.
taking, I heard Fast Car on the way here, done electronica style. And I said, that is a great thing. You see how excited we can get with just letting our own soul come out? And I know
Right.
you're thinking, what the hell is he talking about? But I'm telling you, if you heard it, you'd say, God, Nick, that's interesting.
Yes. Yeah. And see, music is one of your passions. So that would follow.
And it's a stress relief, and you get off of that rugged rat race of,
Sure.
how can I change her?
Right. Change from within and deal with it the best you can. And you're right. Sometimes just shower someone with kindness, and you're shocked.
Oh,
I've done
kindness.
that before. Like this whole week, I'm going to shower someone with kindness who's not nice to me or not a nice person, and it's incredible. It changes.
Of course it does.
It
Of course
really
it
does.
That's the power of the influence of behavior.
Yeah.
Behavior does change behavior.
But I was going to tell you when we were talking about passions or interests or whatever, LSU leisure courses, they have this, they do it year round, but during the summertime they also have an incredible amount of leisure courses. So if someone's interested in painting or pottery or literature or a foreign language or anything, there's so many classes that are so affordable over there, but that's a good way to carve time out for yourself.
Do you hear what we just did? I know. You hear we started off with the problems at the office and the problems at home, and now we're talking about this is what you do. You don't try to change the office necessarily or the home. You find things that are going to make you happy, and then you're going to influence the office and the home with your happiness.
Yeah. Wow.
You take that happiness with you wherever you go. I'm into this. I'm learning this language, huh?
Absolutely.
You see how it shifted?
I
We
did.
both started getting excited about all the things that we could do instead of worrying about changing the office or changing the family system.
That's right. That's right. You can
That's a great, I mean, you did it. We just started shifting
Wow.
to all the options that are out there to find happiness.
Sure. I guess we've done it before.
I do it.
Yeah.
I do it, but I will say I love where I work. Hello, staff.
That's right.
They're always watching us.
Yeah, yeah. And if you hate what you're doing, then find a way to get out of it and do something else.
Or quit. Sorry, that came at the end of the show, but I mean, you can find something else.
You're right. You're right. But try to look for that new job before you quit that other job.
Right, and again, look for the hidden gems. But I think I said to somebody the other day, you know, things would probably be better if you took a year off from your work. Your husband's making okay. And it was like, oh, we can't live. And I'm like, oh, but you could. You could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Nick. Great advice.
More letters. Send your letters in.
Yeah.
Send requests in for topics.
Because they
We
do
love
have
it.
great questions, great insight.
And the best to you, whoever wrote to us.
Yeah. Much more Weekends with Whitney right after this.
Something. Me, myself, I got